And happy holidays to all of you out there from Magician Word. No matter what traditions you and your family celebrate, I hope that this holiday season brings you the very best. And that's why today we've got a good one. My top 10 badass toys that I actually owned. Every year, dozens of toys are recalled from store shelves due to the possibility that they may harm a child. Well, growing up in the 1970s, I felt like sometimes it was the purpose of these toys to thin down the useful population. Slingshots, bow and arrows, blowguns, M80s, and something we called nunchucks. And none of those even made the list. I'm surprised any of us survived. The truth is, back in the 70s, if it wasn't a little bit dangerous, we didn't want it. It was for kids. So let's get started with number 10. I can smell it like it was yesterday. Creepy crawlers. Creepy crawlers, also known as Thing Maker, was a toy made by Mattel beginning in 1964. The toy consists of a series of die-cast metal molds resembling various bug-like creatures and snakes, into which is poured some liquid chemical substance called plastigoop, which comes in assorted colors, and when the mold is heated to about 390 degrees Fahrenheit in an open-face electric hot plate, the plastigoop is cured by the heat, and when the item cools, it becomes a semi-solid rubbery replica of the creepy crawly bug. Mattel continued to create different varieties of the Thing Maker mold sets, including giant creepy crawlers, Creeple People, Fright Factory, Incredible Edibles, Mini Dragons, Eeks, Zoofy Goofies, Hot Wheels Factory, Dolly Maker, and jillions of jewels. But in 1973, the newly created Consumer Product Safety Commission took over the regulation of toys from the Food and Drug Administration. New safety regulations were issued concerning toys that issued heat. According to Peter Davis, product safety manager for Mattel, although the Thing Maker was heralded by educators as a terrific educational toy, it was discontinued because it used heat. In 1978, Mattel released an updated, safer version of their creepy crawlers called Thing Maker 2. This version used a very different formula of plastigoop and was short-lived due to the fact that it took an hour or so to make one creation. Then, in 1992, after being out of production for more than a decade, Creepy Crawlers brand made their return with a company called Toy Max. With much stricter safety regulations in place, the new version of Creepy Crawlers reintroduced the metal mold. Number 9, Clackers, or Clacker Balls. Clacker Balls was my weapon of choice as a 10-year-old boy, and over time developed a reputation to not be suitable for the youth of America.
The first problem for which was to decide on a standard test for the clacker balls. As yet, there are no British standards, but there is an American one. They tested 17 makes in all, of all shapes, colours and sizes, and all freely available in this country.
I remember these Clacker Balls were so popular in elementary school, you had to have them. Everybody had them, so much so that they ended up becoming banned at the elementary school blacktop because, as like most things that are just too much fun, they need to be taken away for a little while. And that's what happened in the United States as well, but evidently they're back.
I know you guys probably don't care about clackers, but I think they're like the best toy ever.
True
1, go! You ever heard of safety goggles?
Impact test, but even after they'd lowered the standard, only 7 got through.
So, evidently, just like a lot of other pleasures in life, we found a way to get clackers back. Number 8, sea monkeys. So eager to please, they can even be trained. Even today, Harold von Braunhut's creation, Sea Monkeys Instant Life, has stood the test of time. It's still one of my all-time favorite toys when it comes to pure wonder. You just mix from a packet that looks like it would hold Parmesan cheese or red pepper, sprinkle it in the water, mix it up, and in 24 hours, instant life. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one because I did an entire video called Instant Life, My Sea Monkey Story. So after this video is over, check that out and check out this fascinating ride down the sea monkey rabbit hole. I thought I saw something moving. Turns out it was just a floater in my eye. This is enough food for 1 week. And here we are, there's the first feeding. So here they are, 3 weeks in, and as you can tell, they are all shapes and sizes. No doubt, sea monkeys are pure magic. So spread the love of sea monkeys. Moving on. Number 7, Evel Knievel. Need I say more?
Evel's riding the amazing stunt cycle. That gyro power sends him over 100 feet at top speed. Loop-de-loop, and he's not through yet. With the power that can really rip, he sends...
Nobody inspired like Evel Knievel, the only living superhero. There's really no more to say. Released in 1973, the Evel Knievel stunt cycle is one of the most iconic toys of all time. Okay, coming up, number 6. This is the only one on my list that wasn't actually mine. It was my sister's. But it's probably the only thing that she had that I was actually interested in.
Easy bake, fast as you can. Mix 'em up, pour 'em in the pan. Slide 'em in, let 'em bake now. Slide 'em in, slide 'em out. Easy bake, wow!
The Easy Bake Oven. Barry, you remember the Easy Bake Oven?
How could I forget?
Well, Barry has an interesting story why the Easy Bake Oven is such a badass toy.
Well, it's great for kids that are interested in cooking or interested in helping their parents out in the kitchen and thinking that they have their own little kitchen.
But it also left a really bad scar, didn't it, on you, on your childhood?
On my face, because Blake decided that he was going to be a great big brother and help me out because I wanted my Easy Bake Oven out of the attic. And so he said, okay, great. Then I'll get up in the attic and I'll lower it down and I'll drop it. And when I drop it, I'll catch the cord and I'll lower it to you. So me being, 5 or 6, and I'm standing under that attic door. Okay. So he did. He dropped it and he caught the cord, but we didn't account for the cord being longer than what it was. And it came down and just gashed me in the eye right
Now, do
here.
you still have the scar? Can we get a close up of that?
Yeah,
Let's just.
is it that eye or this
Yeah,
eye?
come on
It
up
might be
here.
this eye.
You're gonna have to. Let's see. I can't tell.
Can you see?
I'm sure. Anyway, there
Or
it
is it this eye?
She doesn't remember.
I think it was this eye.
But she definitely still carries the memory.
It bakes like magic with 2 ordinary light bulbs and has a special cooling chamber. Easy Bake by Kenner.
Okay, we're about to bust out the top 5 on our countdown. But to celebrate, click that subscribe button, smash that like button. I know number 1 is going to surprise you. But number 5 and number 4, I wasn't able to obtain until I became an adult. Well, in the case of number 5, if you call my 20s being an adult. Number 5, rollerblades. Now this is a hobby that deserves a comeback. From the moment I bought my almost $250 Macroblades rollerblades, I skated every day, up and down the streets of Henderson, Nevada with my little brother, following along with a giant camcorder on his shoulder. I literally thought I was on Team Rollerblade. I went to the local Rock Solid skate park, an indoor skate park there in Las Vegas, and would practice on the hips and spines, doing handstands on the edge of the ramps. Big fun, and I really wish I had something like that in my life now, which is why I just got a new pair of inline skates. Number 4, drones or quadcopters. I'm so pleased that I got to experience the magic of flight that I always wanted as a child. I remember as a child I had a little helicopter on a stick that would fly around and you would pick up little objects with the hook on the bottom. But what I really dreamed of was flying around in 3-dimensional space and even having a camera on it so that I could film what was going on. And in my 50s, that dream is fulfilled. I not only have videos on drones, I have playlists of videos on drones. So check out the link in the description and let's move on to number 3. Number 3, chemistry set. You know, I credit the chemistry set with almost getting me into magic. In 6th grade, in my speech class, we were allowed to put on a presentation for the entire class, and it could be any kind of a show we wanted to do for the class. So I decided I would put on a magic show. So me and my buddy Ricky planned and prepared for the show for weeks, and finally, for our big final grade, we put on the magic show that the 6th grade would never forget. I took a big box, cut a hole in the top of it, put Ricky inside and covered it with a cloth in the front so that it looked like my magic table. And then I put a nice candle right there on the table. So on cue, I would hold a cloth up in front of the candle, and then Ricky would stick a flaming stick up and light the top of the candle, only to bring it back in the box and blow it out. And so then I'd whip away the cloth, the candle would be lit. Ta-da! But that wasn't enough. Using my chemistry set, I was able to turn water into wine and then instantly wine back to water. That floored the 6th graders. But when I say floored, my grand finale was to take a mixture of water and alcohol, pour it on the front of the stage, and set fire to the stage. I'm not even sure what brand chemistry set I had. Number 3 represents all the great learning sets that I had, including wood burning set, electric sets, the erector set, and of course magic sets. This list wouldn't be complete if a video console didn't make the list. Number 2, PONG. I often proudly tell the story of how I owned the first PONG game. Necessarily. Do you remember getting the original Pong game?
Oh, well, that wasn't your toy.
What do you mean? Who was that for?
That belonged to your dad and I. And your dad and I
You're saying that wasn't for us? Well,
No,
we got
no.
to play it.
Well, now
Blake,
and then-
you thought that was your toy?
We played Pong, and your dad loved
Well, what about
Pong.
the
Loved it.
Atari video computer system, which was the 2600 that came shortly after, where you put the cartridges in?
That was later.
Yeah, but that was
later.
for us, right?
Yeah, that was for you.
Oh, that was really for us? Okay, I guess I didn't. Well, the 2600, at least. The point is, these were the grandfathers to the virtual reality we have today. And having had Xbox and Wii, and having those great experiences, it just makes me a little bit proud that my generation was in on the ground floor. This second place victory represents all of my video game memories, from Halo to Dr. Mario to that rude, annoying, overweight avatar in Wii Fit. And now it's time to reveal our number one badass toy.
Come on, Jeremy.
Bicycle. The bicycle in America is a coming of age story.
Dude, that didn't even hurt.
Every kid loves bicycles because everybody has one on the block, and you have to have one. And also, that's a rite of passage for a parent, because they get to teach their children how to ride a bike.
My favorite memory of a bicycle is probably my Stingray style bicycle with the sissy bar and the banana seat and the cards in the spoke, and then possibly a 8-foot orange flag popped off the back of it. We were styling and profiling. And then at one point I even got the upgrade with the shifter right on the bar. In my neighborhood, it was all about jumping. Who could jump the highest, who could jump the furthest. And if you were too scared to jump, you were probably the one who was getting jumped. Well, thank you for joining me on this trip down memory lane. You know, the thing about number one, the bicycle, it gave me a sense of independence that I didn't previously have. And I remember one time taking a trip all the way to Fort Worth to my grandmother's house. It took all day long. And I was so proud when I got over there, and exhausted. And then I called my mother, and she has to figure out how to get her son and his friend and their 2 bicycles back. Good memories. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what your favorite toy of all time was. We'll see you next time. Happy New Year.